Hey everyone, Winsbitten here. So we're at Game 2 of Grail Quest 2016. My beast herd's facing a Kingdom of Equitaine army. Now this list, I really like this Equitaine list. I think it's really strong, and I think it was put together really well for this tournament. Now remember, this tournament is a monster themed, so every army can bring an extra monster or two, and so most every list is either comprised of monsters or of monster killers. And so I have what I consider to be the ultimate monster mash list, and I'm facing a really good anti-monster list. So obviously there's diagonal deployment. There are tokens along the center of the board that if you pick up hurt your unit, and at the end of the game could give you extra points. We both ignored them all game because it just weren't worth it. Weren't worth the risk. So starting on the far right, he's got 5 Knights Aspirant protecting a unit of Peasant Crossbowmen. He has 2 units of Knights of the Grail with a unit of Fast Cav in between. And these guys are rough. One of them has the Oriflame, and one of them has the Rending banner. He has a Damsel with Divination in one, with the Wizard Master 4 spells, and he's got his Battle Standard Bearer in the other. So Damsel's in the right, BSB's in the left. I don't remember which one has the Oriflame, which one has Rending. It doesn't matter. Both these units are very solid battleships. I mean, they're not a Death Star, but he has very good chances of getting a charge with them. And if he gets a charge, everybody gets to attack high strength, just nasty. So I'm looking at the list. I'm like, okay, so he's got a lot of tools in this list, but these two are his heavy hitters. If I get the charge on them with almost any of my units, I should be able to hold it up and then combo charge it with a bunch of stuff. If he gets the charge on me, every single thing on my list dies, and like I said, he has a good range. So another unit of Peasant Crossbowmen in the woods, another unit of Fast Cav. Behind me, he's got his general on Hippogryph. And again, for this tournament, I like this build. He's got the Dragon Lance, Crusader's Helm, Potion of Swiftness, Virtue of Might. So, he very likely to get the charge. High strength. Every wound he does D3 wounds, and every wound he does gives him an extra attack. So I really think that any monster this guy charges, he's probably going to kill on the charge. And he outranges me. I don't know what to do about him necessarily, except maybe just to shoot him with my bolt thrower dude. Then 2 more units of Knights Aspirant. So these guys, of course, have a frenzy on the charge. So it's just a lot of decently high strength attacks. I've got my Centaur Chieftain on the far left. I deployed first, knowing that I'd get to go first. So I wanted to make sure that he could vanguard and then March 16 and hide behind a hill from too much shooting. Got my Gargoyles, Gortak number 1, 2 Razor Gores, then Gortak number 2, then my BSB on a rock. Then my General, let's see it better here. There you go, far left. My General on a Razor Tusk Chariot, another Razor Tusk, another Gortak, then my Jabberwock, and a unit of 10 Wild Horns. I'll be ambushing with 2 units of 20 Wild Horns and with a Beast Giant. So we go to Vanguard, and he chooses not to do much with his Fast Cav. I bring my Centaur Chieftain over where you can see. I'm not going to be able to get a good round of shooting, I don't think, because if I get in range on the left, I'm also in range to be charged, and my Centaur Chieftain just cannot take a charge by anything. So I think I'm just going to hide him round 1 and just keep him available for shooting or redirecting or countercharging later. Magic and shooting in my phase, of course, nothing really happens. We go to this is the movement of Beastmen turn 1, Beast Herds turn 1. So if you look in the top right, I basically took a Gortak and marched him right to the face of his Knights Aspirant. And I'm really saying, I'm not going to dance around over here. Charge me. It's going to be high strength. It's going to be tough. I don't think you're going to kill or break me, though, and I think I win that War of Attrition. Hell, I might even win the round he charges. And then I have my Jabberwock set up to charge those Peasant Crossbowmen. He's awful in combat, but I think he can do that. One thing my opponent could do is take his Grail Knights on the right and also charge my Gortak. I think I'm in line of sight from him. It'd be it'd be a decent charge, but certainly not unheard of. And in hindsight, I don't know why I would give him that chance, because he really doesn't have much to lose if he fails that charge. Anyway, otherwise I take my line and I shift it over to the right. I'm going to focus on those Grail Knight units and try to get it set up with all my chaff to where he doesn't get a good charge on me and I countercharge him with a bunch of stuff. Alright, we go Knight's Equitaine turn 1. His top right, his Knight's Aspirant, charge my Gortak. Otherwise, he just moves up, as you can see. He makes what I think is a mistake just because it gives me a chance. But if you look between his Grail Knights, he moves his fast cav up a little bit. So what he does is he makes sure his Grail Knights are far enough away that I can't charge them, or if I can, I need like boxcars. But he puts his fast cav up to where my BSB on the Rock needs about a 10. And if I fail it, it's not really a huge risk. I have plenty of chaff to move up in the way from getting countercharged. And he's just giving me a chance. Now, whether I make it or not, it's a moot point. But he gives me a chance, and if I hit those guys, he's going to kill them and then overrun into one of his Grail Knight units. So here's the combat on the far right. We go to shooting. Peasant Crossbowmen and the fast cav pick on the score attack, do 2 wounds to him. Don't love that. I think a full strength Gortak still struggles to take a charge by his general, but he has a chance to. Once I've taken a couple wounds, I can't allow that to happen. In the magic phase, I try to dispel something and I fail it, and my opponent just goes on a rampage and gets, I believe, 3 or 4 spells off, and makes these guys pretty tough. They I don't remember how many wounds they did to me, but I was only able to do 1 wound back. 7 attacks, likely re-rolling to hit. I don't remember if I did or not. Super high strength, but the Bretonnians are resilient. So his armor save and ward saves came through. I only did 1 wound, and it's a push over there. So we go to Beast Turds turn 2, and I'm thinking, at this point, I'm like, I think I got the game. My BSB on the Rock charges his fast cav. I need a 10. Again, I don't really see a huge downside. If I fail it, I can make sure I don't get countercharged, and he makes it. Now at this point, I know I'm going to kill the fast cav. I'm going to get a go overrun into his unit on the right, and I'll be able to wheel over and get pretty far right. And the only question is, can I do that and get out of line of sight of his leftmost Grail Knight unit? If not, he'll countercharge me. I'm going to do 3d3 strength 7 impact hits, and then I'm going to die. So there's that. I ambush with all 3 units, which is just fantastic. So, yeah, he's just if he's not able to charge something with his other Grail Knight unit, I'm going to get to charge him with a giant and or a unit of wild horns. And again, I don't need to win in the long haul. I just need to hold him up, and I think I can do that. Jabberwock goes into these guys. I think I'm easily going to win that. There's that combat. I'm easily going to win that. And this is me just coming in behind his lines. I like this leftmost unit. Both units can charge the Peasant Crossbowmen if I need to. I like the idea of just being able to charge these Knights Aspirant unit are going to have to. It was fast cav in this one Knights Aspirant unit. They're going to have to get up closer to my lines, or they're going to get charged and held up. And after combat, yeah, easily kill the fast cav. I overrun, and I get out of line of sight by 2 millimeters, I think. We were real careful about this. I was able to do a wheel, and I could wheel over and get over there, and that's rough for my opponent, because at this stage, I'm thinking, especially, I'm like, I've got the game. There's no way. I played in a tournament recently, and a Rock charged a unit of Grail Knights and obliterated him turn 1. So I'm pretty sure that unit on the right is mine, and even if it's not, I'm going to win that war of attrition. This other unit, because he can't charge him, doesn't have any other good charges, and I don't know what he can do to avoid being countercharged by my Beast Giant. Probably my Beast Giant. And over here, after 2 rounds, now this round of fighting, he doesn't. I don't expect him to do any wounds to me, but I expect to do more than a wound, and I don't. What the heck? Gortak is just. Well, my opponent's units are still buffed, of course. I just can't get past his saves. And of course, the Jabberwock finishes off the bowman. They run off the board, and he reforms. I'm not looking to put him into that Grail Knight combat, I do like that he's close and lowers your leadership by 1. Because they're almost certainly going to be steadfast. Alright, we go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 2. So his other Grail Knight unit, instead of coming forward and risking a charge by something else, decides to turn thinking that his Grail Knights are going to hold, and then he will be able to countercharge. He turns his Crossbowmen around. I was really surprised about this. He turns his Crossbowmen around just to face my my Wild Horns, knowing that he's not going to be able to stand and shoot. He's just going to have to take my charge. He won't be steadfast in the woods. And he has a lot more faith in his peasants than I do. Otherwise, if you look in the middle, he brings his fast cav up very aggressively, and his knights aspirant are moving away from my Wild Horns. And in combat over here, son of a gun, the Gore-Tax still only does 1 wound to these guys. Are you kidding me? This guy is the wimpiest Gore-Tax. He's the smallest of the 3, and I think that that's coming out in his playing. Just crazy. Do something. Over here, very, very unhappy with this guy's performance. I don't remember what the picture looked like. I think I only did 2 wounds to him. And I don't know if he did any wounds to me. I made myself -1 to hit, and with an extra pip of armor, so I have a 3-up armor save. He's strength 4, and if this is the Rending banner, which it may or may not be, that makes a difference as well. But anyway, yeah, it just kind of bounced off. A rock bounced off these guys. Tell you what, in the game I played, the rock did not bounce off me. He'd shoot through the whole entire freaking unit. So I'm not worried about it. I still think I've got that unit, and because of what's happened over here, I think I have the game. We go to Beast Herds turn 3, and Beast Herds are... This is a fast-moving army. Beast Herds have their weaknesses. No armor to speak of. Sometimes not high strength. Of course, these monsters are. But I'm telling you, they're fast-moving for an all-infantry army. And we get in charges all across the board. So I charge everything I can with what I can, and then... Other than that, I move a Gore-Tax up in the top middle to provide support later, and then I take my General, 2 Razor Tusks, and my Centaur Chieftain, and just kind of form a line to try to slow down everything on the left. Now, my opponent's General is kind of dinking around on the left doing something, I don't know what. And whatever he's doing, I think it's the wrong thing, because he's one thing in the army that can outcharge me, can fly over my chaff, and just can kill stuff. And I'm definitely worried about him. So on the far right, since a Gore-Tax can't handle this unit on his own, my unit of 10 Wild Horns, which I put in the list just to go get my opponent's deployment zone and get me an extra point every game, they're actually necessary for combat. The Beast Giant charges this unit. I think that's huge. I mean, I'm stubborn 9, and unless this unit has the Oriflame, I'm re-rolling that. He'll have 6 attacks, strength 4. I don't think he's going to kill me. I think I'm going to hold him up, and if all I have to do is hold him up, and he's in a lot of trouble. I think I'm going to just demolish this unit. It looks like at some point he must have shot me, because I'm missing 4 guys. Go back. No, I'm not. But I'm still missing 2 guys. And, yeah, so the Wild Horns had a pretty long charge into the rear of this unit, but they're movement 5 and their Swift Stride because I'm charging the rear. The Gore-Tax had a decently long charge in the front. These guys are all deceptively fast because if you're within 6 inches of my General, you get +1. So the Gore-Tax has actually moved 8, if I remember correctly. I think he was within 6 inches of my General. And again, I just really wasn't worried about it. If I failed it, I wasn't in a bad spot. So I put him in there just because why not? So I'm not worried about that battle. And we go to combat. So yeah, in big news, the Giant goes in there, does a couple wounds. They do 1 wound to him. He wins. They're steadfast, re-rollable at a -1 leadership. So I think they were at leadership, 8 -1? The leadership 7 re-rollable. They fail it. And the only good news for my opponent is that I didn't catch him. The problem is, if he rallies, I've got just a really easy charge against him. And if he doesn't rally, he's really screwed. Gore-Tax and the Wild Horns make short work of the Knights Aspirant they were in combat with. And the Wild Horns do well against the Peasant Bowmen. Not real well. I only kill a couple of them. I think he kills a couple of mine. But I win, he breaks, and we both just kind of stumble forward. I do not catch him. Meanwhile, over here, I'm doing wound tokens on the back right of my Rock model. I think he's done 2 or 3 wounds to me. So I'm a little bit frustrated. Like I can't get through his armor, and you can see he's got a couple buffs on him, but still, I don't know if I can win the war of attrition now. I mean, he's taken I'm down to half wounds right now, and I've only done 3 or 4 wounds to him. So kind of surprising. We go to Knights of Equitaine turn 3. His general would like to charge my Gortak. He just couldn't fit. There's no if memory serves, he couldn't fit. I think that's what was going on there. His Knight's Aspirant charged the flank of my Gortak. I think that's the right move. They may or may not be able to do anything to kill him, but certainly that's as good as he can hope for. And his Grail Knights failed to rally. So they were leadership 8. I don't think I was within 6 inches of them. Maybe 9 because the general. Regardless, they didn't like it. They kept on going. No, the general wasn't there. It's leadership 8. And now they're in trouble because I have units that can charge and push them off the board. Yeah, there's that. I'm curious how that's going to go. There's that. That sucks for my opponent. That is his battle standard bearer and a unit of Grail Knights running for the hills. And after this, yeah, so my guy, I had already had 2 wounds on him. So 10 attacks coming in, strength 5, and he's only able to do 2 wounds. This time, a Gortak actually does what he's supposed to do. He does 3 wounds back. It would have been nice if I could have rolled a 6 or 2, but I didn't. And he turns to face him. The Peasant Crossbowmen had rallied, by the way. And over here, my goodness, I don't do any wounds to him this time. Now he has 4 magic. My opponent is absolutely killing me in the magic phase, and I've got +2 to dispel, and he's only at a +2 to cast, and he's just rocking me with it. So all those magic buffs, re-rolling to hit and stuff like that, is helping his guys out. I do no wounds to him. He does 1 to me. I'm starting to get worried about this combat. I can't believe it. Beast turns turn 4. Yeah, a lot of what I'm doing is trying to make sure I don't have anything that his general can charge. Oh, by the way, go back. Yeah, so a Razor Test Chariot charges his Grail Knights. If you look at the bottom, off the board. My Gargoyles are flying to the right. Really, I'm just trying to save points there because I don't see them being able to help out with anything. And anything I have near his general is just going to be points to him. So I'm just trying to make sure things are pretty far away. So bring a Gortak in. This is the one that couldn't do anything against Knight's Aspirant, but for some reason I think he can do something against these guys. And yeah, let's see if he can. I charge. I'm thinking rinse repeat. This should be easy pickings. And after combat here, if that's after combat, I didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. If it's before combat, nothing to say. Over here, oh my gosh. So with the Gortak, I do a lot of. I kill his mage finally, and I do other wounds. He's down to 2 models left, but dang it all, he has done 5 wounds on my Gortak. Now I've got 1 wound left. Oh, how frustrating! Now it's like, can I kill him before he kills my Gortak, my Rock? And I'm just really not sure I can. And in the surprise of all surprises, I charge in here, and those peasant crossbowmen, go to town and just rip through my wild horns. I do a fair number of wounds back, but I think I barely win this. I mean, those peasants just stood up. Go to Knights of Aquitaine, turn 4. This is the turn his general couldn't charge anything. He wanted to charge my Gortak, but because my Gortak was in a challenge and I couldn't close the door to him, he couldn't fit with my wild horns there. So I think he tried to charge my Gortak in the kind of the top middle, the one just by my battle standard bearer Rock, and it wasn't that long of a charge. It's about average or so, and he failed it. So that was nice because I couldn't have fled that or anything. And after combat, it looks like this. Luckily, that's my opponent's turn. After combat, over here, those peasant bowmen, I can't believe it. Those peasant bowmen are just tearing up my wild horns. And then over here, finally, we kill the last couple Grail Knights. And this time he wasn't able to do any wounds to my BSB. So That took. I thought they'd be gone turn 2, and now it's turn 5, and they finally die, or turn 4. So beast turns turn 5. So my opponent has the only thing on his table are the peasant crossbowman and his general, and there's just nothing I can think I'm going to be able to do against this general. So at this point, I'm just backing up, getting out of line of sight. Oh my god, so the wild horns. The wild hordes take an absolute pummeling by the peasant crossbowmen. I still win combat, and we chase him down, but I'm down to 3 models in that unit. I used to play Bretonnia, and I've played plenty of peasants in my lifetime. I have never seen peasants perform the way that these guys did. They cared not. They were hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s. They didn't care a bit. So my opponent, even though this is only end of turn 5, he concedes that there's nothing. Basically, I'm not charging him on turn 6, and there was nothing that he could really do to me. Yeah. Or we ran out of time and we both said it's not worth it. I don't know. Whatever. He's got his general left. I've got pretty much my whole army left. I don't know. I can't think of what I lost, if anything. So anyway, regardless, obviously it was a huge, huge win. Easily max points. I actually, I don't think that it was necessarily a bad matchup with my opponent. I think his list was okay with mine, and I don't think he necessarily, played a horrible game or anything. I think my Rock getting a 10-inch charge and just tying up and eventually killing off his Grail Knight unit on the right was huge. I mean, his list is built around it's 2 Grail Knights and his general. Those are the heavy hitters, and then he's got a lot of great anti-chaff units. I think it would have helped if his general was closer to everything else instead of trying to cover the whole board. If he kind of kept his units together so his general could have helped out, I think that would have gone a long way. But in a lot of ways, this game came down to me making just a long ball charge with my rock and taking out one of his 3 essential units, and then having another one of his 3 essential units kind of hanging back, not doing anything all game on the lower left. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.